This is one that again is unique to this kind of leave that will be sought. So unlike other things, obviously, as you know, if you take annual leave, there's provisions around how much that's got to be agreed between the employer and employee, and there has to be some mechanism around time. With this leave, there is no requirement to notify within certain periods, and obviously that's born out of what this leave is about. Is it's often leave, it will be leave that's not planned in most circumstances. So if it can be planned, like i.e. I've got to attend a court date, then obviously the employee would be best served saying that to the employer as soon as possible, so alternate measures can be put in place. But 90% of this leave will be taken, ad hoc and with no notice. So there's no requirement for notice by time, but there is requirement for notification. So that is, there is a positive obligation on the employee to explain to the employer it is, and to provide sufficient evidence for the employer to be satisfied that it does meet the qualifiers of what this leave is. So what would that look like? Like, as I said before, it could look like a letter from the police that confirm, a domestic violence event occurred. It could be a letter from the employee's lawyer who says, yes, this is what's happening, and this is what leave she needs to take or he needs to take. It could be a letter or a statutory declaration from the employee themselves. So they could provide you with a stat dec saying, I'm really embarrassed, I don't want to talk about it, but this is what's happened. I certify it's true and correct. It's obviously a legal binding document. So they're all things that could satisfy on a reasonable person test, yes, it is family and domestic violence, and therefore they get the leave. So again, case by case basis, again, most employers are going above and beyond. And when I say that, they're taking their employee, you've got a good employee, they come and tell you this, you might just say, I'm happy to take your word. I don't need any evidence beyond that. But then obviously if it was a different scenario where maybe you do have questions around whether it's legitimate, then you would. So you don't have to have the same request for everyone. As I said, case by case, the way you deal with Mary, who's been with you for 20 years and never had an issue, may be different to how you deal with a new employee starts today and asks for it. Those thresholds may be different, and on a reasonable person test, that's understandable.